I just want to talk briefly about how narcissists are what's called voyeurs and exhibitionists, um, meaning anything to get people to look at them. So some examples of this are um, like with a female narcissist I ran into, like, last year. I was in the Bahamas, and she was trying to dominate, like, control everything in the room. Like, they're really controlling. And she tried to, like, control the room where I was staying at, like, and I was staying in a room with, like, other girls, um because I didn't really book my accommodations in advance, so I had to stay in, like, this hostel there in Bahamas, which really sucked because I wanted to stay in a hotel, but the thing is, it was like the time of year, like Christmas, so everything was booked. And I didn't get something in advance, so I had to stay there. But anyway, she was in the room, and, like, she was trying to, like, it was an all girls room, and she was, like, trying to control the AC and stuff, and, like, control everything. And I just kept messing with her back, like, I kept changing it, and she kept getting pissed. And then she was, like, really controlling, an exhibitionist. Like, she basically like, looked over at me and, like, opened her legs and, like, flashed her crotch at me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I was just, like, laughing, like, I don't want to see that shit, like, I'm not into women, so, like, why the fuck do I want to, like, sit there and, like, watch you, like, flash your crotch at me? And, like, she had pants on, but still, like, the message was basically, like, like, trying to flash her coochie at me, and I'm like, nah, like, this is not going down like this. And the next morning, we got into a huge argument. We fought because I was about to fight her anyway to get her to back off, because she kept going around the entire hostel and, like, basically trying to, like, force her way into, like, social interactions with people, like, basically, like, force her, like, way into, like, other people's plans, like, they, like, to try to exert her influence and stuff. And she just, like, kept talking about herself, like, the whole time in the hostel, like, about all the places she's been and traveled, and, like, just, like, basically trying to act superior. And I shut her down the next morning, because, and I called her a narcissist because we got in a fight, and she was trying to, like, bully other people. And I stood up to her. And she's like, "Are you threatening me? Are you gonna fight me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what if I am?" I looked at her, and she's like, "Well, I live in New York. I live in New York City." And I'm like, "So the fuck what?" I'm like, "I've lived in New York City and Miami. I'm not scared of you." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm not scared of you. Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, though, in those cities, you do have to be tough to survive, and I would say Miami even more so, because Miami is an extremely violent city. Like, even in New York, I notice I don't see the level of street fighting and, like, aggression in Miami. Like, people, like, literally get physical all the time with each other in Miami. Like, people get out of their cars there and just start beating the fuck out of each other. I don't even see that in New York. So she tried to be like, "Oh, I live in New York City." I'm like, "And so the fuck what? I've lived there too. And Miami. I've lived in both cities. Like, what are you talking about?" So we were, like, basically, like, fighting. And she's like, "Oh, are you threatening me? Are we gonna fight?" And I'm like, "Maybe we are." And so I was standing up to her, and then she got pissed, and she, like, basically backed off and, like, retreated, because she wasn't actually gonna fight me, because she realized I wasn't scared of her, like, I wasn't intimidated at all. And we just threw a lot of words at each other, basically. And then she stormed off, and then tried to act like nothing happened, like they all do, like, try to gaslight me and act like, give me the silent treatment after. I'm like, "I don't give a fuck if you give me the silent treatment. I wasn't even trying to talk to you. Like, bitch, I wasn't even trying to talk to you or hang out with you or go anywhere with you." Like, we were staying at the hostel, and then she tried to um basically, how they try to, like, force everyone to like them. They try to, like, talk to everybody. And I just saw right through it. I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about you. Like, I don't give a fuck." And we were, like, fighting and stuff. And then like, I was ready to actually physically fight her, and I would have, especially since, like, back then I was like stronger, I was like lifting weights, like strength training every week, and I haven't done it lately, like the last couple of weeks, because I've been in transition, moving, and like it's hard to like stick to a gym routine, like obviously, like, you know what I'm saying, like if you're moving cross country, across the entire country to another city, you're in transition, you're moving, you're relocating, you're moving into a new place, like it's fucking hard, it's hard to keep up with a gym routine, and then once you get settled, then you get back into your routine. So I haven't in a few weeks, so I feel kind of weak right now, actually, I'm not gonna lie, and kind of like just blah, because when you don't strength train for weeks, you lose muscle, right? Like you lose a lot of muscle, like lean muscle mass, and you feel like really blah, and that's what I feel like right now. But back then, being like leaner and stronger, like you feel, more confident in yourself. So I was ready to, but she looked like she didn't train at all. Like she didn't like strength train or anything. She didn't look like she did work out at all. So she just basically like ran off. And there was like a guy standing, between us, a German guy, and like he wasn't gonna get in the middle of like a chick fight. But he was just like, he was kind of caught in the middle of the fight because she was bullying him too. But I was ready to like physically fight her. Like I'm not afraid. Like, but the only thing is I was in another country, and like I don't know their laws or their rules. So if I would have like acted out, like if she would have hit me, right, and like I would have hit her back, I don't know what the laws are like in Bahamas, so like I might have been in trouble, but I don't know. A lot of narcs, like they're not worth going to jail over, but honestly, like I'm not afraid of them. Like if they ever lashed out at me like physically ever again, like I would hit them back in self-defense. But the thing is, like, narcissists, sociopaths, like they want you to strike first, right? So that they can be like, oh look, you're the crazy one, you're the aggressor, and then land you in jail, right? Because they don't want to go to jail, like they don't want any consequence. And if they're ever gonna strike me, I'm gonna let them strike me first, so that they're the ones that go to jail, because I'm just acting out in self-defense, right? So another thing too, so the bully, she backed off because I shut her down. Um, so that's exhibitionism, right? Like opening your legs, like she did to me. Like thinking I like that, like I want to see that, and I'm like bitch, who the fuck do you think I am? Like I'm straight, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not into that shit. Like close your fucking legs, Like I've had female narcissists like from my childhood too, who like, they're probably just bullying me too, but trying to talk to me about like scissoring and stuff. And I'm like, I never saw you like that. Like, what the fuck? Because like they're so like exhibitionist sexually and like fluid sexually that like they'll like claim they're your friend, right? Like a female friend, but then they'll like try to come on to you. And I'm like, I don't roll that way. And she knew that. Like, she knew that about me. And she's still like, try, they're always testing your boundaries. Like, oh, like I've fantasizing about this, Blossom, like me and you. And I'm just like, what the fuck, And like she was like in a relationship at the time too, like with a guy that I knew. So I was like, yeah, no. And like it's all boundary testing basically. And I was like, yeah, there is no way in fuck. She was like constantly obsessed with me since like childhood. Like, oh, you're so pretty, like always like complimenting me and stuff. And like it's just like nasty, like, it's just nasty as hell. And so that's the female narcissist exhibitionism. The male narcissist, I noticed a lot of them will like to walk around like in sweatpants, right? But like thin sweatpants and the like gray, light colored sweatpants. And you'll notice like that you'll see the outline of their penis, right? Like through the sweatpants, because they want people to look, right? They want people to notice their dick like through their pants. So they literally will walk around inappropriately and like try to get everyone in the room to stare at their dick, like through their pants. Because like you'll see the outline, like it'll be showing through their pants, right? And they want everyone to stare at their crotch. So it's basically a way to manipulate everybody. Like it's like, oh, everybody's forced to stare at my crotch because it's obvious, like my penis outline is showing through my pants, so you're gonna have to look. That's the male exhibitionism, the male narcissist. They will run around a club like with like, their pants like sagging and shit, and you'll see like the penis like showing through their pants. Like, you know, they'll wear like thin pants or like sweatpants where you can see the outline of the penis clearly, that they want people to stare at. So that's an example of the male voyeurism, narcissism, you know? And it's like, nobody wants to fucking see that, bro. Like, nobody wants to fucking see that. But they want everybody to look. They want everybody to notice and stare at them. It's just, it's like, it's just to get attention, but they do it. And it's like so nasty. Like, it's so, like, gross as fuck. It's inappropriate. And it's voyeurism, It's exhibitionism. And that's what they're all about. They're into like public sex. They're into all this stuff because like they just want everybody like to notice them, everybody to look at them. And it's disgusting, but that's what that's what they're like. Like that is literally what they're like. They want everybody to look against their will. Like against their will to just stare and like, stare at like their yeah, it's just like it's nasty, and they know it's showing. Like they know that's why they do it. They know like everybody can see it, and that's why they walk around with their like penis showing, and they don't think anybody's gonna point it out or call them out on it. And if somebody does call them out on their bullshit, they're just gonna make up some excuse like, "Oh, why are you staring? Why are you looking down there?" Well, like, duh, because you're going around, like, and clearly, like, it's showing through your pants. Like, they do that on purpose. So those are just examples of their exhibitionism, voyeurism, and like desperate, need for like attention and validation and supply. So that's why they do it, is to basically be a voyeur. They're all voyeurs. They're literally voyeuristic. And the female narcissist has all this like male sexual energy about her, like, trying to like come on to women, like in a way that's predatory when you guys just had like a friendship, stuff like that. So it's just like that's what they do. It's constant just to like a desperate need for attention, and that kind of like negative attention even. And they'll do it in the most inappropriate settings, the most inappropriate ways, because they're just fucking inappropriate, They're like fucking little children just walking around thinking they can do whatever they want. And when you stand up to them and hold them accountable, which you should with all cluster Bs, hold them the fuck accountable. They get pissed off because they think they're above being held accountable. They think excuse me, they think they're above being held accountable. Like, you can't hold me accountable. Like, just like defiant little children, But yes, the fuck you can hold them accountable, and you should always hold them accountable. And be like, you're not above being held accountable. You're not a god. You're not godlike. They think they're godlike, and they should be worshipped, and that they're superior. They look down on everyone. But yeah, just shut them the fuck down and hold them accountable and call them out on their bullshit. And the biggest thing is you can't be afraid of them. Like you can't, like a lot of people are afraid of them. A lot of people just want to be like polite over like being honest and truthful. And and narcissists capitalize on social politeness, right? Especially coming from women. They expect us to be docile and overly nice and polite socially, especially towards men. You gotta lose all that, social conditioning and let that fly out the window, because they take advantage of that. That's how they play you. They take advantage of those societal expectations, especially for women to be nice, accommodating, polite. You don't have to be any of those fucking things. You realize that, right? You do realize that. That's just bullshit. That's bullshit social societal conditioning to keep you submissive and compliant to predators, abusers, bullies, all that. That's all that is. It's bullshit. You don't have to follow any of that. You don't. You don't have to put on any performance for anyone, you know? You don't have to put on any mask, any performance, socially perform for anybody, you know? Like, who the fuck are these people, right? Like, they're not paying your bills. Like, they're not paying your fucking bills, so why does their opinion matter? Why does their fucking opinion matter, you know? Are they paying $3,500 a month for your base rent in New York City? Are they paying that? Think about it. Are they paying $3,500 a month for your studio apartment in New York City? If they're not, then they can shut the fuck up, right? If they're not paying your rent, they can shut the fuck up. That's the way I see it. Okay? They're not paying your bills, like, and even if they were, you can still stand up to them. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just people are like, a lot of people are just so afraid to just stand up to them and call them out, and they're afraid of them. I don't know why. There's nothing to be afraid of. Like, they're cowards. They're literally cowards. They're scared of their own shadow. Like, they're so fearful, you know, at being exposed. It's so funny. I think it's hilarious. They're constantly afraid of being exposed and unmasked and called out. I called the female narcissist. I call her a narcissist to her face. I'm like, you're a narcissist, aren't you? She's like, so what if I am? See, like, they know. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They know what they are. They know what they're doing. That's why you just have to call them out. Call them out on their bullshit, you know? And they'll get super mad, super defensive. I'm not going to get defensive over anything, you know? If somebody wants to call me a narcissist or arrogant or whatever, because I prefer my solitude over socializing, fine. But you know what? I'll just show you my fucking paperwork. That's all I gotta do. Like, I don't even have to say anything. I'll just hold up my paperwork, my diagnoses, and that'll hopefully get the person to shut the fuck up. You know, it's as simple as that. Here you go. Oh, you're okay. Like, that's what you think of me? You think that you think I'm arrogant because I have a low social battery and I get easily socially drained, so socializing is not a priority for me. All right, here's my paperwork. There you go. And if you don't respect my diagnoses and my social limitations, then you can fuck right off, you know? Like, I don't owe anyone anything. I don't owe anybody an explanation, you know? Who the fuck are you, you know? Like, I don't owe anyone anything, and neither do you. Like, I've cut my parents off a long time ago, over 10 years ago. I cut them off. Like, who do you think you're, my mommy? You're my daddy? That I gotta answer to you? Who the fuck do you think you are? You know, I have cut off both my parents. I don't give a fuck about family. I don't give a flying fuck. Like, look at my face. Like, does this look like a face that gives a fuck? No, I don't. I literally cut them off over 10 years ago, my entire family. I don't give a fuck because they never supported me. And I was the scapegoat, and I was bullied because of my schizoid traits, my autism. So you know what? Fuck them. I'm using that to my advantage now. I'm using those traits to my advantage to win in life, okay? And those traits can take you very far in life. The not giving a fuck aspects of those, you know, of those disorders, autism and schizoid, the not giving a fuck factor that comes with both of those can take you extremely far in life. Narcissists really give a fuck what people think of them. They really do. And that holds them back so much in life. They don't get ahead because they're obsessed with social status and how people perceive them and being likable, right? And being considered a good person and a nice person. But schizoids, autistic, we don't give a fuck about that. We don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. But narcissists, sociopaths constantly need that social supply and validation. We don't. That's the difference. So I think that's why I think people with like autism, like logical people are way more superior to any cluster B, because we just, you know, we're like truth tellers, and that's why they can't stand us. And we also don't play by like societal social expectations and rules like they do. So they also see that as like a freedom, you know, they can never have. And like in a way, like they play by the rules, but like they don't in a way. Like they do all this stuff. I was just talking about exhibitionism. They try to break the rules, but they still play by them at the same time, simply because they need that social supply. They need the supply, right? They need to be able to use people for supply. So they still do play by rules because they need supply. Because if they just acted out all the time, right, then nobody would have anything to do with them. But yeah, their behavior does push a lot of people away, and a lot of them end up alone, unwillingly alone, I might add, to where, you know, they feel lonely and shit. But like somebody like a schizoid, that's their preference, you know? That's their preference. They love it. They love being alone. Like if they got shot, if they lost everyone tomorrow, they would be like, thank God, now I get my solitude, you know? But to a narcissist or a sociopath, that's like hell for them. That's like hell. Because another reason is because they're extroverts, right? Sociopaths, they're extroverts. They're totally extroverts. That's why solitude is like prison for them. You know, it's like a death sentence for them. Because even the ones that pretend to be introverts, they're not. They're not really introverts. I've known some, like, in my past, like when I was around malignant narcissists and all that, they'll put on this act like they're still hunting for supply the whole time, right? But they will like go into like this so-called solitary, you know, introvert state, but it's not real. Like they're not actually introverts at all. They're not. They're constantly out preying on people, scamming people, looking for supply. They're not actually introverted. They're not. They're not. They prey on introverts, you know, because they think that we lack a social support network or a social barrier to protect us from them. But are they introverted? No, the fuck they're not. They're not. They're extroverts. They're extroverts. Like, it's science has proven that like psychopaths, narcissists, they're extroverted. They're extroverts, and they have to be because they need supply, right? They need to be able to use and abuse and, you know, drain people's energy and prey on them. So they have to be extroverted to do that. Like introverts get drained, you know, their social battery gets drained by being around people. Narcissists, no, they feed off of others' energy, but like we get like drained around other people, you know, like they don't. They're extroverts. So even the ones that claim like they're introverts, a lot of the times the reason why a lot of them are in solitude is excuse me, because they have fucking burned bridges by abusing so many people around them that people got fucking fed up and told them to fuck off. And that's why they're alone now or pissed about it. But are they there by choice? No, the fuck they're not. No, they're not. But they burn those bridges themselves and they know it with other people, and that's why they're at where they're at now. A lot of the times with, you know, introverts and stuff, we're a lot of times we choose solitude. That's our preference. You know, we're here by choice. They're not. They don't want to be like that, you know? They don't want to be in those in solitude. No. They want to be seen, right? They want to be heard. They want all this attention on them. They want the spotlight, you know? They want the main stage, but we absolutely do not. Schizoids want to be unheard, unseen, unheard of, unnoticed, right? But narcs are the total opposite. Total opposite. So, like actors on a stage, they gotta have that attention, you know, they gotta be noticed, all that. But schizoids want to like kind of be in the dark, you know? We just really don't want to be noticed. We really don't want like a whole lot of attention from anybody. But narcs are the complete opposite. No. And like I said, a lot of them, if they are alone or in solitude, it's because they've been shunned by the people that they have hurt, that they have abused, that they have manipulated, they have burned bridges, and it's all their own fault. Schizoids, on the other hand, a lot of times with their solitude, it's by choice to protect themselves, to protect their you know, specific neurodivergence, and to protect their boundaries and solitude, need for solitude and low social battery. That's the reason they're alone. But narcissists, no. No way. They're alone for completely different reasons. And one is willing and happy with that, and the other is absolutely not, you know? The narc is absolutely not happy about that. They're not. They're not. They're fucking miserable in that state. They really are. They're miserable. They are lonely. They're everything that a schizoid would never be. Because schizoids prefer solitude and to be left the fuck alone. Narcissists, no. No, total opposite. For them, that's like living hell. They need an audience. They need an audience. They need somebody that's below them, that's beneath them, that they can talk down to, you know, that they can control. Somebody that's beneath them, that they can feel superior to and infantilize. infantilize that person and try to reduce them down to like a child they can talk down to. When it's funny because they're the fucking child, right? They're the immature one, they're the pathetic one, and they're actually the child in the adult's body posing as an adult when they're really not. And they're trying to talk down to everyone around them, call everybody else a child and immature when it's really them. It's really them who's the fucking child. So don't listen to their bullshit. Just pay attention to their actions because, you know, if they're running around, you know, flashing their coochie at people and, you know, trying to walk around with their dick showing through their pants, who's the real fucking child there, right? Who's the real child? Pay attention to their actions. Don't listen. Don't listen to their words. Watch their behavior. Study their behavior because it's going to be the complete opposite of what's coming out of their mouth.